Thanks for joining us at the Fireside Chat with FairPlay Studios. Before I begin, invite the co-founders to introduce themselves.
Hello, my name is Thanisorn Boonsoong, also known as Pat. I'm the CEO of FairPlay Studios.
Hi guys, my name is Kevin Yim. I'm the CMO and Head of Business Development at FairPlay Studios.
Great. Now let's start off by learning more about the studio. So could you tell us more about the history of the studio and how it's grown?
Sure. FairPlay Studios was founded on October 2018, and I think we were founded under very intriguing circumstances. So in a meeting between two parties, on one end was a team of investor entrepreneurs driven by the upside and passion for the gaming industry, and they were building an opportunity to enter the market. Whereas on the other end was a group of industry professionals. So, we're talking about designers, developers, and artists looking for funding to conceptualize their dreams. And as fate would have it, this team of professionals pitched to me in hopes of feeling their idea, whereas on my end was a venture being formed. So it was really just a beautiful relationship that was formed at the hands of fate. From then on, it was full steam ahead. We've launched a considerably successful title in Fallen Knight, and that took 1 year in development and is on Apple Arcade since the launch of the service. Something that is so magical and unforgettable to us as well is that, albeit our first game, we were chosen as the first batch of games to be launched at the same time as a service that allowed our studio logo to be on stage with the speakers in their launch event. And this is, undoubtedly our catalyst of growth. FairPlay is now going, Fallen Knight is now going on to Switch, PlayStation, Xbox, and Steam via publishers in PQ, Phoenix, and DIDCC. And in this year, we've launched the latest expansion of Fallen Knight, which is Galahad's Path, and Himapan Marshmallow Saga, which was soft launched, and we are slated to release 3 more games towards the second half of the year. Looking back, we've grown quite considerably from a 6-man team to now 16-man team, and soon to be 20 people. We're modestly growing our trophy cabinet as well, most recently winning Level Up KL's SEA Rising Star Awards, and before that, we placed 4th in GTR's Accelerator event back in 2019, out of all the Southeast Asian studios. And right now we've 2 games amongst the finalists for Deepa's Game Accelerator program in Thailand as well. So fingers crossed we won't miss the mark with that one.
That's a really wild ride of success.
Thank you.
Congratulations. And so what can you tell us about FairPlay Studios' company culture and how you managed it on a day-to-day basis?
Well, when it comes to project management, we're using Backlog as a tool, to complement, I think, what is a very orthodox Scrum methodology. We conduct weekly sprint meetings to ensure we meet our 2-week sprints. That allows us to be very agile and transparent across the board throughout the entire company. But what we do to spice things up and keep things novel and exciting at the office is more so what we do outside the day-to-day operations, which contribute to the culture here at the studio. For example, a significant company-wide event that happens every year and just passed as well as the selection of a new game. We have everyone, and I mean everyone from the shareholders all the way to the junior staff at the company pitch their own ideas for the next game of the company. And although there is a framework and certain rules to ensure that research is being done and it's not just a random idea without substance, with that, we're very democratic. We put things through a decision-making matrix and vote for a few ideas that our designers take away and develop for further work. Apart from that, we are gamers at the end of the day, so it is important to realize and live that part of our culture. Therefore, at the office, we have all sorts of game consoles, equipment, and games for all staff members to enjoy during off-work hours, to bond and take a break. We've also recently implemented monthly town halls. Although our first one was supposed to happen before the recent Thai New Year Songkran holiday, but it was postponed due to the COVID pandemic, unfortunately. So once we're back in office, we'll have that kicked off and ready to go. But all in all, I think the democratic approach to leadership, even if a little laissez-faire in practice at times, really works in our favor at the studio. It allows us to enjoy a fine balance that is so hard to achieve between the creatives and the quant-orientated minds, between art and business. And we've built up a foundation of communication and trust. And it's really it's a really beautiful culture we have going on at the office.
Great. And of course, given that culture, also at the start, how did you put together your team and the company? And how did you go about finding and rounding up the talent in Thailand's game industry?
So well, um, there's I guess there's really not much to say that hasn't been said, previously in regards to how the team was formed as like the industry professionals and the entrepreneurs coming together. But I think we're just extremely lucky to find a team that just synergizes and meshes with each other really well. At the start, there was a clear role for everyone to play. And, instead of fumbling around in the dark and running to cover all the bases like traditional startups, we all filled in our positions beautifully and functioned like a really well-oiled machine from day one, in the most part. And from then on, we just hire like any other company. Internship openings for fresh talent acquisitions, job posts, job searches, etc. And we put all our applicants through quite a rigorous test. But we do put a lot of weight on internal referrals from our team members whom, we place the utmost trust in. We think we've sourced a group of, if I were to say it, elites in Thailand here, and to be elites as well in incoming employees. And we know that they would do the same in their referrals. And speaking of which, 4 incoming staff members are all ex-interns at the company. And in regards to structure, the company itself is divided in a very flat hierarchy. I'm the CEO, Kevin here, the CMO and head of business development. The company is structured into 4 pillars, like, in art, development, game design, and a collective business unit that takes on the role of getting the game to market. And we have a very talented COO who was originally our lead programmer, and he now spearheads the new venture team, and definitely a one-of-a-kind CFO who dual wields sort of as our game designer as well. I mean, I think it's amazing how he made the transition from being, big banks to game design, but I think that's a story for another day.
Great. And so let's talk about games. Tell us about your portfolio and the games that you make, and what are some of the inspirations for these games?
Oh, I'll take that. So at FairPlay Studios, we currently have 5 games in our portfolio. As mentioned, Fallen Knight is our first original IP, which is an action platformer that is based on the story of King Arthur and the Knights of the Round Table. And the inspiration mainly for that game came from the team's love for the series Mega Man and Dark Souls. So we put that together, and now, as Pet mentioned, it's available in Apple Arcade and soon to come to PC and console later this year. We also are working on our second original IP. It's a couch co-op, which is currently under development and in the pitching process to find a publisher. The name is yet to be confirmed, but the inspiration of this second IP comes from Overcooked and moving out, especially during these times with COVID. So you want to play, these type of games. And then earlier in 2021, as Pet mentioned, our CEO is spearheading a new venture team. So with that, we opened up a small in-house development arm focused specifically on mobile games in the hyper casual and casual category. And with that, we have 3 games. So the first one is called Angry Wife, which is our endless runner. It's a client-based project, which is now currently being pitched and tested by mobile publishers. And as mentioned previously, our soft launch game, Himapan Marshmallow Saga, is our virtual pet game that integrates the aspects of Digimon Pokemon evolution, and Tamagotchi raising and caring for your pets. And then we also followed the Thai trend that happened earlier this year that went viral, the Himapan trend, which is based on the Thai folklore. So this game is currently soft launched in Thailand with plans to go global later in the year with some of our marketing partners that we have. And our last game that's set to launch later this year in Q3 is called Land Beneath Us, which is a turn-based roguelite adventure game that was inspired by Soul Knight and Into the Dim. This game is also currently in development and in the process to pitch to publishers. So those are all the games we have currently this year and more to come.
Yes, exciting. And just to focus on Fallen Knight a bit, I guess I'll ask this in two parts. First
Sure.
off, before, what were the highs and lows of developing and launching the game in Apple Arcade?
We can't say we had any lows with developing and launching for Apple Arcade. It was overall a very great learning experience for the team. Our team was challenged to get out of their comfort zone and really expanded their boundaries through their experiences working with Apple Arcade. We were lucky to be at the right place at the right time, I have to say. The game was developed to launch only for iOS on the Apple App Store in June 2019. But as luck would have it, when we submitted the game to Apple, Apple saw the qualities of our game and proposed us the opportunity to be one of the few games that would be set to launch with their new subscription service called Apple Arcade in August 2019. So even though the game was only developed for iOS, Apple Arcade has to be playable on all operating systems, meaning iOS, iPadOS, macOS, and tvOS. This required the team to work closely with Apple to develop our capabilities to port our game to all their other OSs in such a short period of time, so we would be ready for the launch of Apple Arcade as soon as it goes live.
And now that Fallen Knight will be available to a much wider audience, what are some challenges that you're facing with this new venture?
Well, as mentioned, as Fallen Knight is going to Steam and console later this year, the porting knowledge that we gained by working with Apple Arcade to port to all their other OSs, we had to also take that knowledge into account and then use that to port towards PC, Xbox, PlayStation, and Nintendo Switch. So after the launch of Apple Arcade, we managed to secure publishing deals to bring Fallen Knight into the hands of PC and console players. And because of the team, we had to continue to acquire new competencies by working with our publishers very closely to learn how to use the dev kits that we received from our publishers to port towards additional platforms. But the good news is everything has gone smoothly. Everything's on track. The game's official launch date for all platforms is now set on the 23rd of June, 2021, and it will be right after the Steam Summer Games Festival. So this whole experience has enabled us to be one of the few developers in Thailand who now hold the dev kits for all platforms and have the porting capabilities as well.
Right. Excellent. And of course, how have you handled growing and engaging this whole new audience for your growing portfolio of games?
Well, so far, what we have been doing is all our growth is organic. So everything is for Fallen Knight would come through the Apple Arcade ecosystem. People would find Fallen Knight, they would contact us through the support system, or they would follow us on our socials and join our Discord. But with our soft-launched virtual pet game, Him Upon Marshmallow Saga, that was very well received by the Thai community just because of the viral trend of the Him Upon Thai folklore earlier this year. We had an influx of fans who started to follow us on our socials and helped grow our Discord community by over 1,000%. And all of these members played a key role in providing feedback and shaping Him Upon Marshmallow Saga to the game it is today. And that's the plan we have with our fans. You know, we always take into account their feedback, and we're going to build the game according to what they think would be best for everyone else. And in addition to that, to really grow as Fallen Knight is launching in June to PC and console, we have been working very closely with our publishers to do a very big marketing push to really put FairPlay Studios and Fallen Knight into the eyes of the gamers globally.
Great. And of course, just to backtrack a bit, looking into the future, why do you think it's an exciting time for Thailand gaming industry?
So, yeah, I think it's very exciting. I think Thailand, Thailand's transitioning into a period of understanding and accepting that the game industry is it's a formal and, to be quite frank about it, a very lucrative industry, a very huge industry. And with that, there's been an upsurge of new studios, new talent, and I think for me personally, more excitingly, the solo developers that are putting their own games out there into the global market. So a bit off track, but I'm a huge fan of medieval games. And although I haven't had the chance to play it yet, I'm dying to get a go at Kingdoms Reborn, and that's a Thai solo dev game. That's on Steam. Great reviews as well. But, you know, apart from just gaming specific, Thailand itself has been a country with, I think, in a sense, globally recognized creative talent for quite some time. You know, our artists, our animators have won awards and worked for sort of the creme de la creme of companies in the creative space. So Thailand doesn't necessarily lack the talent for an industry boom, in my opinion. We're just missing that catalyst to propel the industry forward. And that's why I think it's so exciting. You know, most of all, though, I do want to applaud DEPA and the Thai Game Association for launching their accelerator program. I've shared the notion that Thailand really needs a well-designed, well-executed accelerator for quite some time. And seeing our industry's representatives take that step to work with the government in forming this initiative, I think is a tremendous step in the right direction. You know, without experienced professionals and business minds working together to build a bridge that connects our country's game companies to the global stage, you know, Thailand won't see the rise of a flourishing supply-oriented game industry. And I think we're getting there. And that's, of course, exciting.
Very nice. And of course, with the two of you being very busy just this year, let's look forward into the future and ask what's next for FairPlay Studios.
Right. Well, you know, we'll be moving forward with the continuation of creating FairPlay original IPs, and you know, in that ever elusive search of like a global sensation, of course. But you know, as mentioned, we've a very rigorous launch schedule this year with, you know, 5 projects altogether, 2 down, 3 more to go. And apart from that, you know, we've started offering production house services to expand beyond just game developing. You know, we are searching for corporate clients to utilize sort of the wonders of gamification as a corporate solution. We think games do more than just offer short-lived novelty, and we want to see that entire idea realized in a corporate environment. And I guess lastly, you know, our most aggressive aspirations for the new feature is to acquire global IP and make it into a FairPlay Studios original.
Nice. And as you grow your games portfolio and even your business development ventures, let's talk about, of course, your reputation and what the legacy that you are building. So what do you want FairPlay Studios to be known for?
I think that's such a tough question. I mean, really, what best emulates our company is, I think it's in our mission statement, and that is just to quote word for word, you know, may our games brighten your day. I mean, on a consumer's perspective, we want to be known as a studio that sort of reignites your childish passion, stimulates your emotions to the maximum in whatever way we design. It wouldn't be a unique dream per se, but I think basically we just want to be that studio that when our games come out, you know, people can't wait to get their hands on it and play, whether it's just for the hardcore gamers or the more casual mass market gamers. We just want our games to be sort of recognized and connotate that symbol of quality, right? But on a professional level, at least locally, we want to be known as sort of one of the best game companies to work for in this country, with a high degree of professionalism and of course an undisputed love for gaming. That's who we are. And we want to be recognized as the ambitious ones as well, that are looking to make that crack at the daunting global stage and be the first to have that global hit sensation from Thailand. And I mentioned Thailand needs a catalyst, and I want FairPlay Studios to strive to be that catalyst as well.
Wonderful. Well, very excited to have Fall Night out on PC and consoles, and of course the next games out for FairPlay Studios. Thank you, Pat and Kevin.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.